Welcome to Fortune Cookies Tarot. I'm Annabelle. I'm a tarot practitioner for over 35 years. And in this video, we're going to do something a little bit different. I usually don't do this. I had a members only live today where I take questions from my membership. They can either be personal questions, they can be political questions, they can be pop culture questions. So today we talked about the blackout in Spain, and my intention was to do a full-length video for you all on the blackout in Spain, but I did a little bit of remote viewing on it, and I think it's really important for you guys to see it. So I'm going to bring that video up right now, and then we'll pull some cards after. You guys can ask any questions you want. So let's bring it up. I think you guys are going to find this very, very interesting. Do you guys want to talk a little bit about the blackout in Spain? Apparently, most of the power has been restored at this point. I think that's what I'm hearing. It affected Portugal, and there were parts of France that was affected. Hello, Victoria. Hello, Victoria. So, all right, so it's going to be more remote view. I am just like a remote viewing fool these days. Who won Canada's election? I believe the Liberals maintained their control over the Canadian election. You know what, Amanda? I did not read on Virginia Giuffre. I did not read on Virginia Giuffre or Virginia Roberts. And I will tell you this, I did watch a little bit of Mystical Fortunes, but let's do this. Let's talk about the here we go. We're going to read on the Spanish blackout. The Spanish blackout. And we'll read on Canada too. But if you guys have questions, if you have things that you want to know, let me know. So, all right, so what I'm going to do, and this is similar to what I did on the private event for Lacey Peterson, Scott Peterson case on Saturday. Dave Murphy was in on that. Deb and Dave Murphy. I'm going to do another one next month. I'll pick a topic, or maybe I'll just leave it open and I'll say, we'll discuss whatever it is. But I basically did like just a purely psychic read. I didn't do, I didn't do any cards or anything like that. I just laid back in my chair with my heavyweight blanket on, and yeah. Oh, it was bloody awesome, Dave. Thank you. Thank you. So I just kind of laid back, and Debbie was my monitor, and Debbie kind of asked me some questions and steered me in different directions. I did talk to her about it after. And so for future ones, she kind of understands that like she can really direct me like a remote control. So she could say, I want you to go down Fifth Street. I want you to go back into the house and tell me what's in the refrigerator. Like she can actually kind of drive me around like that. When you're doing a purely psychic read like that, it's sometimes easier to have someone directing your traffic. And that way you can kind of get lost into that environment that you're in. So, so let's talk about this, this blackout. Here, we'll do this, because if I do pull some cards, give you guys a little taste of what that's going to be like. So I'm going to drop in to just a regular apartment in Spain. So I'm on the 3rd floor of, it's a guy's apartment, has a girlfriend, lives there. We're in it. It's daytime. Lights out. He is one that the cell phones were affected as well. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to jump into their electrical system. The reason why I'm using this specific apartment, I'm jumping into a specific apartment, is because it does give me a specific pathway to get to the source of what caused this. So jumping into one of those weird old electrical sockets that they have in Europe, jumping in there, traveling down lines. So this was a jolt. It was, I don't want to say it was an EMP, but it feels like an EMP. It feels like a big whoop. Like, I hit my microphone. Sorry, guys. It just feels like a whoop. And it's a black section that went down the lines. So I do think that it was an EMP of sorts. It may not technically be an EMP, but I think it was some kind of whoomp that came from the system. Now, where was the origin of this? Where did it come from? And I'm getting, we're going to do some drawing, guys, because we're doing a little bit of remote view here. Let me get my handy dandy pad here. So where did it come from? Hey, Tony. Tony, we're talking about the blackout. It came from a building that looks like this. And don't tell me it looks like a like nuclear power plant. It may well be, but Deborah, good day, darling. Good day, good day. And it's very sunny here in the East Coast too. This is where that electrical pulse came from. And I'm going to call it a whump. 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 So there was a moment. This is some kind of generation. This possibly could be like they do. This possibly could be. And I'm gonna write dark matter. Dark matter, because what it feels like is that they used, I'll make this a little bigger so you guys can see actually what I'm doing here. I'm writing. Oh, you know what? This might be better. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna switch sides because it's freaking me out. Because I'm there we go. That's better. So dark matter was a heavy fuel that was exclusively used for, and excuse my handwriting, because when you're doing automatic writing, those kinds of things, your handwriting, sometimes your spelling is bad. Heavy fuel that was exclusively used for this purpose. We have a meeting. To the origin here, origin story. And I apologize, guys. Somebody's cutting their lawn or something. I can feel the pollen coming in. So there was a meeting of three main men. We have gray suit. We have dark suit. And then we have like sweater guy. I'm going to call him sweater guy. Definitely all men. Sweater guy. 100% part of the them in the world. Engineer. We'll call him power engineer. This guy is the agent of this. He has subordinates. But they didn't know. They didn't know what they were doing. So this fuel source was actually concealed. So what I've got here, if these are fuel sources, like say this is a box that says fuel, a happy little box. And these boxes come in fuel, happy little boxes. But we've got one over here. It says fuel, and like it's in a different color. Like the lettering is in a different color. Actually, I don't want to say the lettering was in a different color. There was something red and something blue, two separate things. They were just like little symbols that were on this packaging. And the agent, the power engineer, was the one who made sure this box got onto the conveyor belt first. And so they didn't have to what? Thank you, Dave. Okay, hang on. So, and again, I'm going to do more on this. I'm going to bring this. I'll bring this into the longer read that I do. Power outage, and it's 3:33. 4:29. This is for my reading later. I will allude to this later in my reading. So the power engineer was the one who just made sure that it got on there, and there really wasn't any, like, no one had to like flip a switch or anything like that. It just, this was all put in there. The three wise men here, the three main men, gray suit, dark suit, and sweater guy, they made the arrangements. They, very simply just had something. Hi, Tammy. I hope you're doing well. We missed you too, sweetie. So once this fuel got, I think this is a nuclear plant. I'm going to say nuke plant. I'll have to look up some pictures and see if we get some connections here with this. It kind of looks like 3 Mile Island, and 3 Mile Island. Was that what it was called, Greg? Can you not hear me? Oh, Greg can't hear me. So to be continued on this one. So I think that there was a wump on this. So was the Spanish. So interesting stuff. And I did do a little bit of research, and I found some nuclear power plants in Spain. Now, this one over here, maybe. I don't think so. There was too much of a square in front of the building. So possibly this one here, which I think is the same one, just a different view. I know that there are domes on top, but I was seeing these structures. So sometimes that'll go up into the air. It definitely was not the stacks that I was seeing. I was not seeing stacks. So let's pull some cards on this, kids. Let's see what we see. Okay. I just want to get us all squared away here. And there we go. Bring up some cards. So I want to start out with the Gypsy Witch fortune telling cards. Was this a practice run? Was this a practice run for a much larger event? And these Gypsy Witch fortune telling cards are a lot like Lenormand. So they do work together and they tell a story. Was this an event? Practice. We have the birds, which signifies dire misfortune and fierce enemies. What's the next one? Railroad, a long journey. The anchor, long journey to a solidified situation. The eye that will take great interest. And the moon is concealment. So this was an event. This was done on purpose, and it was done to distract us from something else. What was the distraction? What are we being distracted from? What is under the moon? Oh, I dropped a card. What is under the moon? Luck and abundance. The bear. Successful speculation. Trees. And the snake. Oof. So good luck with the pig. The bear is a sign of successful speculation. So fortuitous things here for the dark side. The highest hopes are brought into the light, but it is of the snake. So this is, guys, deep state stuff. Deep, dark, spooky stuff here. Switching over to tarot. Are we going to see further outages? We're going to see further outages. Knight of Wands, lights out. Anti-wishes. It's the Strength card. Three of Cups, Ten of Wands, Eight of Wands, the Lovers. How do they see themselves as securing their future? How do they see others as expendables? Hopes and fears. The hope is that this equalizes everything and that we have new partnerships moving into the future. Very powerful combination with the Lovers card and the Two of Wands being the outcome cards here. So, yowza. Lights out. I think we're going to see more outages. Buckle up, kids. Get your candles ready. Get your food stores ready. Canadian election. Is that a good sign? No. Continued fighting. I have to ask this. Is the dark side winning? It's one card, guys. One card. Is the dark side winning? Is the dark side winning? Yes. The dark side is winning. Oof. They have grown impatient. Anti-whispers in reverse is impatient. And they have finally made the connections with things that they need to in order to try and carve out a brave new world. Usually I'm pretty positive in my readings, guys, but this 10 of Pentacles says that the dark side has gained a foothold with this. Gained a foothold. What can we do? Do we have a yellow brick road for this? What can we do? Out of the chaos will yield a great new beginning, a battle of good and evil. That's here. It is through destruction and being beaten down that those that are not on the right side of things will be persuaded to become on the right side, even though it will be toil and trouble and difficulties ahead. But then from all parts of the world, good will come together. But we are now, rather than entering a period of golden age as described by Donald Trump, it looks as if we are entering a true battle of good and evil. This is not the reading that I thought it was going to be, guys. I think we're in for it. I think we're in very, very interesting times. More this weekend. I'll read more on this weekend. I'm going to do some research and see if there are more power outages around the world and around things. So hold on to your tinfoil hats because this might get a little crazy. I'll see you in the next one.